Hi everyone, it's Maureen. I haven't posted in quite a while. Projects are in progress. So with that, things of course are going a bit slowly because they are taking the time that they appropriately need to be done. So that's why I haven't posted in quite some time. I do appreciate folks still enjoying the channel and watching my videos, so I do appreciate recent subscribers that have added themselves to following the channel. In this week's video, I wanted to show you a recent acquisition. This happens to be another Brenda Price doll. Unlike the ones that I had shown in an earlier video, these particular dolls are more based on the middle class and lower middle class. The earlier ones that you saw in the previous video were under the Royal Heritage Collection. So you're talking about people from history. So they were based on actual people and their portraiture from the 16th century. And with that, there was always sort of a way of trying to keep them very accurate to the portraiture. And I guess you could say when you're following a portrait and you're a doll maker, you are very limited by what you're able to use, colors, textures, because you're trying to follow a accuracy to a portrait to say, oh, hey, this person looks like this person from history. But what we happen to have here is a different series that Brenda Price originally created in the late 80s, early 90s, called The Ladies of Wales. The dolls from the late 80s were more baby doll-like, so the faces sort of looked like children and less like adults. When the series was redone in the early 2000s, she ended up using faces very similar to what she used for the Royal Heritage Collection, where they were adult-looking faces. So in this case, this is a doll circa 2007, so this is from the refresh of that series. So we happen to have Arwenna here, who is a spinner from Brecon, which happens to be in Wales. So the Ladies of Wales series basically follows traditional merchant employer type jobs, employment, I guess you could say, what you could do for a living at that point in time. And it's more so in the 19th century. But instead of it following the traditional Wales national costume for women, each doll was dressed a little differently. Now this happens to be a complete wool outfit. She happens to also have skeins of spun wool on her side, as well as having multiple layers here, an apron, as well as her drop spindle. This was her line of work, so of course she would have her tools of the trade on her person. But what's a fiber arts person without a little bit of friends? So we happen to have sheepy friends. They didn't come with the doll. The sheep I already had, but I really just wanted to create a nice little ambiance. I also happened to acquire a little functional miniature spinning wheel. Although the cats have decided that they want to rub up against it and sort of nudge it with their nose, so the spinning wheel is sort of behind the iron here and is sort of tucked in the corner to keep it a bit safe from feline persuasion. And I happened to be in some luck. I was able to find information to contact the original artist on these and see if she happened to have any more from this series, because I just love the way that these dolls are dressed. I love that they follow a profession that was occurring during this time frame. So there are 6 dolls in the series. Arwenna happens to be one. There happens to be 5 others that I can't locate I've not seen them come up online. I'm sure they're probably in some people's collections. And something like this, if you're motivated to have bought the doll, it's very unlikely that you're going to just, you know, randomly, oh, I'm going to just sell the doll. I did contact the person who owned this one to find out if they had any other dolls from this series, and it doesn't sound like they did. So I just happened to luck into a doll in very good condition who happens to be number 1 of 50 in that limited series. So I really am counting my lucky stars on this one. So besides her, I also did go to a fiber festival recently. So the yarn that you're seeing over here, that happens to be hand spun, hand dyed yarn. I also bought some that I'm currently working on spinning up for a Tudor style project, which if you follow my Instagram, you will see the progress on that, or if you follow my blog, it's on there too. But getting back to Arwenna, the other traditional professions that the 5 other dolls happen to have, one is a cockle seller. So that happens to be in near the town of Flint in Wales. So along the River Dee, where there's an estuary into the ocean. So that happens to be that particular lady's profession, where she would sell cockles, and she happens to have a basket full of them. The next one from there happened to be a cheese seller. So, and she was from an appropriate region in Wales to where cheese was made. Then there's also a milkmaid who happens to be from a different region. Let's see, so we got a cockle seller, a milkmaid, a cheese seller. Oh, there was a fish girl. So one of the other towns known for fishing happened to, for that particular doll, she's actually repairing a net, which I thought was quite lovely. Oh, and the other one is, and I remember this one a bit better, it's a flower seller from Swansea, which is a different region in Wales. So each doll comes from a different region of Wales. They're all dressed a little bit differently. There might be some styles that are similar, like the hat, for example, is a very popular style. Most of them have it. The milkmaid happens to actually have shoulder yokes with buckets. I mean, they're beautiful and hand carved and beautifully made. And her hat, though, is not the woolen tall black cap. Hers ends up being a straw hat over the white bonnet. So yet again, depending on what your job is going to depend on what you wear as far as what would be appropriate in that case. But many of them happen to have aprons and other sort of similar accoutrement that you would expect from the 19th century. So with my contact with the artist as of late, I'm kind of hoping that she's able to locate maybe a couple of these dolls and we can strike up a bargain, because I'm sure this series, I find it absolutely fascinating. But I'm someone who is sort of, I would consider, off the beaten path. Not everybody is going to be studying regional costume and have a great appreciation for it that's going to be buying a doll, so to speak, in a particular costume. I think there are those of us out there that are definitely willing to do so, but I wouldn't say that we're your everyday person. So I think the market is a bit limited. But fingers crossed, and here's to hoping that I can get some new friends. If I do get some more dolls from this series, I will definitely be showing you those other new friends. It would be really, really nice. So I'm hoping, but I guess we'll see. I mean, international shipping from Wales isn't gonna exactly be financially friendly, but there isn't much in our current world that is financially friendly right now. I mean, prices for everything are sort of just going up like crazy. But it is an opportunity for the artist to get rid of some stock that may be taking up space. So we'll see what happens. I'm remaining hopeful. But other than that, and our recent new friend here, there hasn't been too much that's been going on with me recently. So that's why you really haven't heard anything too much going on, because I've been spinning up some wool, which if you follow my Instagram or Facebook or my blog, there's posts about that. There's pictures too of what I've been working on. And eventually, after all the spinning, I'll get the loom dressed up and we'll see what we can weave up in a reasonable way that I can actually, you know, hopefully have like 4 or 5 yards of some 40-inch wide fabric to make a Tudor English fitted gown. Fingers crossed, and here's to hoping. Probably take me the better part of the rest of the year to actually get that done. But when don't I have a project going on? That's probably more of a serious question if you think about it. But if you happen to like this video, as far as updates as to what I am doing or projects that I create for the channel, solutions for your crafty storage, and other similar videos, please consider liking this video and subscribing. I upload about every other Friday, and we have some crafty goodness going on here. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.